and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about my experience of visiting a relative in hospital and a relative who lives in a care home. So I thought I'd talk about my own personal experiences and how I cope with it as a person who's on the autistic spectrum. So yeah, let's get into it. So for me, visiting a relative in hospital has been quite overwhelming and overstimulating, because when you walk into a hospital ward, you've got the bright lights, the noise of the machines, noise of other patients and their family who are talking loud, or sometimes the radio is playing, so you have to consider that as well. And then you have to consider the way to behave and the sensory environment as well. So for me, again, it's the noise, it's the smell, it's the smell of the ward, it's the smell of the people who are near me, the smell of the people who I'm with, the smell of the person in the bed, and everything like that. So it can be quite overstimulating and quite overwhelming for me. So the machines in general as well can be overstimulating because they make quite high pitched noise. So all you hear is this beep 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 beep, and it just gets louder and louder and louder until they switch this machine off. And yeah, so again, that can really do a sensory issue with autistic people. Also, with a family member who isn't well, I've had to consider that the way that I speak to them is to change my tone and my speed of my voice to make sure that I'm able to successfully communicate with them and to get on their understanding level, and to make sure that I ask the appropriate questions and to make sure that I don't overwhelm them or overstimulate them as they're trying to recover from what they're going through. And at the same time, I think that's important because as an autistic person, I don't necessarily feel how they will feel. I don't necessarily understand that they may have trouble telling me how unwell they are or how they're feeling at that certain time. So again, it's me adapting my behaviour to the current situation, which can get really, really confusing as well, especially if you're in a stressful environment like a hospital, because being in a hospital is quite overwhelming at the best of times anyway. Especially if you're in a place where, you know, you're on a certain ward that has certain conditions, like being on a dementia ward, it's open at certain times and closed at certain times. The fact that you have to make sure that you're in that visiting hours, and you have to make sure that you know what area of the ward your relative's going to be in, and how often you're allowed to go in there, and how long you're allowed to stay on there. So again, that can be really, really frustrating with that. Obviously, I don't deal well with sudden changes either, so that can get quite overwhelming for me, and having to deal with having my gran being well and out of hospital when she had her fall last time, and then now she's back in there. So that can be quite a big change, knowing that she's that ill that she's having to go back into hospital to get treatment, but knowing that she's in the safest and bestest place for her possible at the moment. But again, it's the anxiety, it's not knowing what's going to happen or how quick things could change, or knowing that my grandma is that ill that it could lead to worse things. You know, it's the constant thoughts in my head, and I think, uh-oh, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? So again, it can be very, very overstimulating for an autistic person to go through that. And then this afternoon, I went to a care home to visit my granddad, and being in the care home again is very, very similar to the hospital situation. When you're in a hospital situation, in a care home situation, you've got more of an open plan building. So with a care home, you've got other patients walking about, residents, I apologise, other residents walking about, you've got TVs being played really loud, you've got the coffee machines going off, you've got the telephone going off, you've got residents making noises and stuff. Again, can overstimulate you. And trying to talk to my granddad, who was in a very, very negative mindset, and he kept saying about how he felt no one cared about him, how he wanted to die. Again, it was processing that thought, going, oh, hold on a minute, he's happy, he's safe, he's being looked after, he's in a care home for his needs, and yeah, all he kept talking about is that he wanted to die. So I was just like, Granddad, stop, enough, stop, just stop. And knowing that, really, when my dad said, Gemma, just stop it, don't worry about it, I had to realise that necessarily that wasn't helping the situation, that not necessarily I wasn't doing the right thing for him at that time. So again, it's important just to let people know that the way to say something may be to say it subtly or to say it in a way that's not going to aggravate them. So for me, it was really difficult to know how to say things, and my anxiety has caused me quite a big issue. And knowing that he was very, very in that negative mindset, it was very, very hard for me to calm down and process what to say or if to say anything to him. So if you feel that being given a visit to a care home or given a visit to a hospital is too much for you, I totally understand that. That's cool. That's fine. Please do not overstimulate yourselves. If you are on the autistic spectrum or you suspect you are on the autistic spectrum, then make sure you have strategies in place to use. Like, luckily I had my phone with me and I was with my dad, so if I needed to, I could get out of the situation. And I think it's important to let you guys know that it can be quite a difficult thing to do, especially doing 2 of these things in the same day today. It's been quite overwhelming. So if you have any questions for me, put them down in the comments. And again, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please like, please comment, please share, and please subscribe to my channel. And if I don't see you all again, have a great Christmas and Happy New Year to you. Bye, guys.